Well, hello, my beautiful Capricorn. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay, let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Capricorn, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. Now, it's also worth noting if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, and that will drain you of your wonderful love and waste your beautiful time, of course. Now, the difference between the two, because there tends to be a fine line between twin flame and false flame, a false flame will trigger you without any evolution. No one will reach for any personal development or growth. It'll just keep going round and round in circles and nothing ever changes, okay? But a false flame energy is totally different to a twin flame, because the twin flame dynamic, you will see two people trying to work out the stuff in order to come back together in a union and try and make it work, okay? So that is the difference. Now also, very unusually, the guide chimes were so silent, especially when it came to the water. So I feel this person, they have trouble tapping into their emotions. They may, well, you probably don't need me to tell you this, emotionally avoidant for sure, but we'll tap into the energy in a moment. It was just so unusual that there was such quiet energy, even though there was a lot of movement. I was moving the guide chime around to each one, and normally it'll pick up some sort of energy and movement, but this time there was a lot of silence, a lot of stillness. So perhaps that's what you're experiencing in your twin flame journey at this moment in time. But let's get straight to it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Capricorn? What do they need to be aware of regarding their twin flame dynamic at this moment in time? Can you please show them the way? So you have the Tower. So right now you feel isolated, shut out, abandoned. Perhaps you feel like time is ticking and there's just radio silence right now. The Tower is basically an energy of feeling lonely in this connection. You were there for this person. You offered them stability. In fact, you are their literal tower of power. You may have felt like you got caught up in their storm in some way. We also have the Garden for your person. We have the Lily, and we have the Man. Now, this tells me that your person has misunderstood intimacy as an energy of physical attraction. It's like they avoid their emotions by being very physical, okay? Now, there is emotions there. This person actually feels deeply for you, and I feel there will be some movement and potentially some improvement, but we need to see a little bit more regarding your twin flame dynamic. But I can see right now that you feel alone in this right now. You know, The Tower is a challenging card, and I will show it to you in a moment, but it kind of connects to the Mountain as well, which means you're someone who is very strong. You're someone who's kind of like right now going, well, they know where I'm at, and I'm still here. I'm still standing, but I feel like you're finding alternative things to utilize your time with. I feel you just want to be happy. You're trying to simplify your life. You're shutting out any drama, especially this person's drama right now. The Tower energy is number 19. Again, I'll show you that card in a moment. And you just want to settle down, be in a secure relationship, but you're kind of very unsure right now whether it's going to be with this person, because this person has taught you that their silence feels like abandonment, like they've let you down. Now, I want people to be aware of what a twin flame dynamic is, because yes, it is passionate, intense, magnetic, overwhelming, all-consuming, otherworldly. However, it is a relationship that serves a purpose. It has a process. A spiritual awakening is more connected to a twin flame dynamic than most relationships. So if you think about your twin flame relationship, it's more about you being activated to accept your spiritual awakening. Okay? It's more than just a physically romantic relationship. It's a process that prepares you and your person to release any lower vibrational energy that keeps either party stuck in fear, addictive patterns, unhealthy attachments. Now, you may be like, nope, that's not me, but your twin may be going through something as well. There's two sides of the coin, of course. There can be, of course, commitment issues, but it tends to have a core rooted in either abandonment issues, codependency, trust issues, fear, insecurities, loathing, self-loathing there. Maybe even they've been betrayed in the past, hurt, let down, or even bereaved. So it depends on your dynamic. Not everyone's going to have the same dynamic. Twin flames tend to have had a very challenging experience before they even meet each other. And that challenging experience needs to be processed before both of you can surrender to the union. Because the twin flame job, as it were, is to trigger things within you to amplify so that you cannot run away from the stuff, and vice versa. So when you think about your twin, you're actually looking in a mirror of projected feelings and fears and worries, and they're also looking at a mirror of themselves when they look at you, and they're looking at all the things that they've been avoiding, running away from their whole life, things that they feel is too hard to step up and acknowledge. But the twin flame journey forces each person into a period of accountability, responsibility, and they must come home to self in order to have a relationship with their twin. Now, as I said, it's a process, and it's an inner vibrational transformation. And it is a personal journey of discovery, but it is one that must be done alone. That's why there tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. That's not always typical to form, but it tends to be the norm, okay? Now, I always say, do not wait for your twin, because, of course, you could wait weeks, months, years, depends on how far along in the process they get, how stubborn their energy is, how avoidant they are. So it is a process, and it is that journey alone. That's why sometimes it feels isolating, it feels lonely. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. Not everybody takes the twin flame journey. You don't meet your twin in every lifetime. Not everybody's going to meet their twin in this lifetime, of course, but you've met yours, and I feel it's important to recognize that both of you need to trigger each other and have that separation period, because it is a rite of passage, and it is to discover your true life purpose and mission, as well as embrace unconditional love for self. And only then can you come home to each other and activate the reunion process so that it can be sustainable. Now, that's a lot. So some people cut a cord when it comes to a twin flame dynamic. You can have a soulmate in this lifetime, but there's only one twin, okay? So I want you to be aware of that. How would you like to receive? We've got the Ace of Wands there, and we've got the Knight of Wands. Now, as I said, this person, very physically attracted to you. This person is still in the runner phase. There's an energy here of this person wanting to be close to you, but they fear intimacy in terms of their emotions. That was clear in the Gaia chimes. There's obviously a root cause for that. We'll get to that in a moment. I always explain twin flames like magnets, okay? both identical in polarity, both identical in frequency. So you are energetically charged in the same way. Now, if you have two magnets, you are a magnet, you and your person are separate, of course, so your person is a magnet, and both of you are charged with that same polarity. And if you've got two magnets, they push and pull. The ones that are charged in the same way, they attract each other, but also repel each other. There is a space in between. It is there on purpose so that both parties change the frequency within through a spiritual awakening or personal growth period. So that's why there needs to be a separation, okay? It's not a game, it's an energetic exchange. And if the two magnets remain the same, it will literally perpetuate a cycle. So the chaser needs to be aware that once they put all that care, love, devotion, and focus inwards and onto their purpose path, then you change the frequency. You activate self-love, you erect healthier boundaries, you have a stronger sense of value, and you heal the things that are being projected into the relationship, which is specific to you, and vice versa. Your person will then, because the frequencies have changed here, they will come closer because now the magnets are not identical. But it also promotes healing in your person, so they step up or step out of the union so that eventually you can come together in a match, okay? Now that's a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. It's very complex, of course, very rewarding when you come back together in a union. I want you to be aware of that. But your first card there is the Tower. It's number 19, which is the sun energy. You've gone through a rude awakening in this twin flame dynamic, shaken to the core, because this is a card of, connection to the Tower, where you feel shocked in this. You feel this relationship has made you feel broken down and tired. You feel perhaps that this has got to a very critical point where you feel you need to free yourself up from this. You were creating a structure with this person. You're aware that it was very physically intense. And you may be asking yourself, was it just physical? Because you also have the King of Wands there. You're someone who's very independent and you do not fall in love easily. And with that Two of Swords right now, you're feeling very confused as to whether you want to settle down with this person or it's just, a live in the moment kind of thing. I mean, with this contemplation card, the Two of Swords, it means you've thought about settling down with this person, nesting with this person. You offered them stability. You offered them your strength and your foundation of love so they could have a healthy relationship with you. But I feel with this card, it highlights almost like an estrangement right now. You just feel like you don't know this person because they've left you feeling bereft. The silence is deafening. And I feel like a lot of you are calling time on this relationship because you're done. You can't do this anymore. I feel like you've looked at your options. I also feel that you are isolated in this. I feel you're restricting yourself from reaching out from this because I feel, especially with the Two of Swords, Two of Swords is communication. You would love to have a face-to-face conversation to either get closure on this, get answers on this, or try and understand this. You're trying to make sense. A lot of you are going inwards for answers right now. But this is a card where you're like, you know what? I'm not messaging this person. I feel like you're being stricter with yourself here. You're removing your presence from their life and getting busy living, doing your own thing, following your passions there because, you're teaching this person what a life without you feels like. And I feel like they kind of don't like it. Eight of Swords, this is how they feel about you. With the world there, I feel like you were their world. Now, they may not have been able to express that, but the Eight of Swords, this person is very stuck. Eight of Swords means they're in their head. Now, when you have such conflicting cards, there's an abandonment issue, that's for sure. Right? They got the Five of Pentacles. That's literally what that means, the Five of Pentacles. So this person, they feel like their life force has been cut short in some way. I'm actually hearing a song for your person. Sorry, I'm just doing an experiment. It's only when I touch this card, actually, that the song plays. And maybe, actually, that's relevant. I'll give you the song. This song has come up before. I think maybe even for your sign. I'm not sure, though. The song is Evanescence, I think it's called, the band. Let me just check in with the lyrics. How can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down to my core? save me from the nothing I've become. Now, those lyrics are not linear. I'm being given bursts of the song. Now, either you're going to hear that song in the next couple of weeks or months that highlight you're about to hear from this person. I mean, the Ace of Wands indicates some sort of action. There could be a flirty message coming through, and I feel like you're done. You're not doing this. I feel you may entertain it for a moment, like, okay, maybe we can just repeat a cycle here, but I feel like your person's certainly not ready. They're trying to end a cycle in their life. They're trying to reprogram some sort of behavior that they got caught in a loop with, but they're not there yet. I gotta be honest with you there. So listen out for that song. I mean, the fact that it's highlighting this person is numb, or they feel like they are not worthy, that's literally what that Five of Pentacles means. It feels like they're not enough. They feel that they are unlovable in some way, or they fear that perhaps you see them and they feel empty or numb. So they're like, what can I offer you if I don't feel anything for myself? I mean, those lyrics are like, you see them. You see the very core of them. They feel exposed. The Tower can be an exposing kind of energy, like a sudden bolt from the blue where you fell in love with this person pretty instantly, which that's not something you normally do. So that may have even shocked you there. But I feel this person really made you happy and you thought about building a life with each other. And I feel like there's this energy of you feel it's ruined or it's completely broken down there, and you're left kind of like in that period of feeling shocked. Maybe you're feeling numb because you feel like they saw you as well, and now you feel like you need to remove yourself or not hide away. I don't feel that at all. I feel like you don't want to see this anymore because this hurt. And, you know, the Two of Swords indicates stalemate. Nothing's happening. No communication. Doesn't mean you don't think about this person, but I feel like you are restricting yourself from messaging this person because you've given enough. You tried to influence this relationship, tried to save this relationship. You did everything in your power to try and, you know, coax a conversation out of this person, because this can be a head-to-head. Two people trying to find balance, trying to understand each other, but it's like you're in a period of reflection right now. You've removed yourself from this energy. You feel very uncertain. You're considering your options. I feel this is you gone real silent. You know, you're taking a break from this because it's self-preservation mode. I mean, I love this card and this deck, but if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a figure sitting on a beach and the waters are calm. Okay, now there is a moon in the background, which indicates fears and worries about how this is going to go down, and uncertainty, of course. But the waters are still, there's no threat, and yet the figure has two swords as a protective energy. Like, I don't feel safe in this connection emotionally because I feel like I've been let down, and I just need to protect my inner peace. I feel like you've got a little bit of an inner battle there, because how can you feel such a deep emotion for this person and get so close to settling down? I mean, these two birds, the home is there and they're on top of the little bird house there. So it can indicate that you got so close to settling down or committing to each other, but it feels like you're not there yet, or it feels like it's so far removed from what it could be right now, and you just feel lost in that. But right now, I feel like you're taking your time back. I feel like you are trying to not feel overwhelmed in this, and you're trying to find the right answers within you in order to perhaps give yourself closure in some way, or work out what went wrong here. Now, what went wrong is this person shut down because they feel somehow stuck in something. There's energies here of cages. So this person sees a limitation here within themselves that they feel mentally they cannot get past at this moment in time. So this could be a fear, or it can be this feeling of not being enough. And that song that popped out there, they feel numb. I mean, look at this. It's like they've cried all their tears and they're just left. Like their wings are clipped. It's like something within them just feels like they've hit a limit there. And I'm not saying that they are like disassociated. I feel they are kind of like protecting themselves and like, I can't go to that place. I got to find out why, because right now I'm not seeing this other than they feel self-loathing, or they feel like they're not enough, or that they're not lovable, or they're empty. You know, they feel like they have nothing to offer. I mean, even that lyric said, save me from the nothing I become. And they are not nothing. They are everything. They're everything to you and vice versa. And if only they could see what you see in them. I feel like you tried to show that to them, you reflected it back to them, but their fears got in the way. Now, I'm not here to give anyone an excuse or a way out. I'm here to understand both sides so I can understand an outcome. It's not acceptable. People need to take accountability for actions. They need to step up, explain, or, be responsible, because every action has a consequence. And I feel that in your future, you and this person, there is the potential to have a conversation, but looking at the energy, I feel there's still this kind of like physical attraction. It's going to be a long process because this person is emotionally avoidant and they need to come home to self first. And looking at the time that you've got a clock right there, it's like you don't have the time to waste on this anymore. It's not that you're wasting it, but you are aware that it's just not going anywhere. So in order to change the dynamic, you have to influence the situation. You're so fed up of having to lead or, be the person who always has to be that catalyst for change, but you're doing the right thing by retaining your power. This is you literally taking back your power, being independent, marching to the beat of your own drum. Definitely having a spiritual awakening here, because normally on a tower, this is a wonderful deck as well, but a tower is hit by a lightning bolt in the traditional tarot decks, okay? So it indicates that you're reaching higher frequencies right now. You're transforming, you're elevating. So if you're changing the frequency within you, this is literally bringing you back to life in this connection. And it's like, you are focused on your sense of purpose, you're focused on your passions, you are taking ownership of your life, you're building in confidence, you're looking at your vision of what you see for your future. And I feel like you can't see yourself settling down with this person right now in its present form. And maybe you feel that you are erecting boundaries where they cannot get access to you anymore because of the way this went down. Actions speak louder than words. So I feel like you're setting your soul on fire and you're like, you know what? I'm moving on and I'm not looking back and I'm good without you. I don't need you. I wanted you, but I don't need you. And the two are very different. So I feel like you are reclaiming your power there. I feel like you're exhausted by this connection. So you're trying to kind of revamp your life or restructure your life in some way and rebuild, of course. So your person, we've got the Garden card. Now, this is a card that highlights an invitation to have fun or to connect in some way. Now, it's number 20, which is, of course, the Judgment energy. So this person is sitting in judgment, judging their actions, because the World card indicates something came to an end for them. The cycle came to an end, or they feel you moving away based on their actions. The World card indicates they're learning lessons. And I feel like there's this energy like within them where they feel, you know what, I'm really independent. I got everything I need. I'm complete. But under that current is this. Eight of Swords. Something's not right. Something is very sorrowful. Something is fearful. Something where they feel trapped, perhaps in the structure that they built. Eight of Swords, 8 is the number of the self. There's a lot of sorrow in this person, something that they really need to look at in order to release themselves, free themselves up. For some of you, not all of you, of course, your twin may be across the world, or they may have relocated, or they're physically at a distance, and it's just hard, and it's just that. But I feel whoever I'm dealing with in this reading, there's more to it than that. So, if you know the Lenormand deck, this is a card of reunion. This is a card of an invitation to say, I want to see you. I miss you. I want to be spending time in your company, in your energy. And I feel that this is their intention. This is how they feel about you. There's a lot of regret, sadness, fear that perhaps it will end, but their actions have given you no other choice. So what is the deal? This person is feeling a little bit lost. And again, that's not an excuse. People need to take accountability for actions, at least let you know where you stand. Because if someone tells you where you stand, my beautiful Capricorn, you're cool with that, because then you know. But if you feel like you're buying into something or you're moving into something, investing into something, and it kind of goes nowhere, that's not acceptable. So you feel like you've been left high and dry in this connection with that Two of Swords. You're like, well, I'm on autopilot now. I don't know where I'm at. So I feel like you've shut down on your emotions, and your vision of settling down with this person is hanging in the balance, if at all. I feel a lot of you are like, no, I'm taking back my power. I'm just moving past this and I'm going to live my best life. And you're going to see it. I'm getting this energy of like, look, I'm all good without you. Even though deep down with that Two of Swords, you're feeling lost in this or feeling like what happened there, you're feeling alone. It's a self-preservation mode. And this person, of course, that will trigger an energy within the frequency for your person because there is an unspoken, unseen bond between you both. You feel it, you know it. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. But the Garden card indicates an energy of reunion, of retreating from the crowds, wanting to be together, as it were. And I would say it's very physical in its nature. There's going to be a very flirtatious message that comes in. And you may even be like, nope, not about it. Not happening. But there's a lot of passionate energy in this reading. So some of you are contemplating a new chapter in your life. And you're not really sure if it's with this person. However, something that has died away, these two cards can highlight in their interaction something that is perceived to have been cut short too early, or something that was dying away or was restricted in some way or got shut down can blossom again. However, there needs to be accountability. I feel this can bloom once more, but right now it's very physical. We've got the World energy for your person. Now this can indicate, that they are completing some lessons, as I mentioned. They need to come back into balance. I feel this person, I'm being given mentoring with this person. So they may actually tell you that they are getting a counselor for something, okay, their emotions. And they may even tell you that the first meeting with a counselor, if they've done it already, they just cried and cried and cried and may not have even spoken about anything. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, but let me just pull a card on that. Can you please show me that energy for my beautiful Capricorn regarding their twin? 8 of Wands, the Moon, Knight of Cups, and the 6 of Swords. This person is aware that they were falling in love, that they are in love, and that they remove themselves from the energy. You're both in the rite of passage. This was meant to happen, okay? So if you're doing a lot of questioning, soul searching, you don't have to accept the process. And I always say, get busy living. Do not wait for your twin, because the reunion process will take place when there is divine timing. When I was running away from my twin, and I didn't really realize I was running away, but I was the runner, and the universe found a way to keep having me bump into my twin in a city full of millions of people. Twice. The universe will find a way. So breathe. What is meant for you will never pass you by. But if you're sitting there, yearning for this person to reach out, it's going to be a process, and it will just keep you waiting. So yeah, I don't see that you're the sort of person, my beautiful Capricorn, to wait. But they've got the 8 of Wands. Now, this is an energy of things happening really fast, a lot of energy, a lot of passion, very driven, being aware that there is a transformation going on here, and both parties being eager for this relationship to go places. It was an adventure of discovering each other, something new and exciting. But also, 8 of Wands, when you connect it to any love reading, it means there's a possibility of falling in love here, but I'm also feeling lust. Do I allow it to get to that place, or am I going to put the brakes on? Now we got the Moon there, so this means there's some romance. It also means there's fear. There's the shadow self. There is an undercurrent here of something not being talked about. This person is holding back on something, some sort of sorrow. It's almost like they're presenting as everything's fine. I'm just telling everybody I'm fine. I got no feelings. I'm independent. I don't need anybody. But underneath, there's a lot of fear, a lot of sadness, a lot of feeling like they're not enough. The bigger the bravado, the bigger the personality tends to be, the more sensitive the person, and a person who perhaps not overcompensating for something, but just saying I'm fine, when really this is not fine, okay? The Moon energy indicates a lot of fear, a lot of sadness, a lament. And we've got the Knight of Cups. This is love. This is someone who's actually feeling emotions, someone who is shutting it down immediately with that 6 of Swords in order to self-protect. Now, 6 of Swords means someone coming out of a very turbulent time, who is protected and directed, but someone who always preempts troubles ahead because they've been through trauma. They've been through something that has been really challenging. And This person, Knight of Cups, they have emotions for you. They shut it down. They're like, okay, let's just keep this physical. Let's just keep this where I'm comfortable in my comfort zone. So this person is protecting their energy and they regret it because now they lost you. And with that Eight of Swords, of course, there is a lot of sadness. I feel it's almost like they had no more tears to give, but they are going to, or they have gone to someone for healing, and they didn't realize the healing process would trigger something within them that released so much emotion. They felt like they had no more emotion left, and then suddenly there is a leading question. Now, what is this about? Because there's got to be a root cause of why this person feels like they're not enough. Can you show me the root cause of why this person does not feel like they're not enough? Ace of Wands. I mean, that's the physical energy. It is Five of Wands, inner battle, rivalry. This person has had someone be a game player with them or rival, someone who threatened to take down another union. So I feel this person in the past, there's definitely a betrayal here. So this is before you even met this person. Five of Wands is, we got Ten of Swords. Something, yeah, they had a really bad ending in a relationship. Something that broke them down, destroyed them. And whoever this person was, I feel it was a betrayal of trust in a way where they were with a person, and this is way before they met you, they were with a person who constantly kind of flirted with other people, almost as a gameplay. That person was very insecure in their energy, but it put your person in fight or flight mode that they could lose a person at a moment's notice. This person got ground down in a very toxic cycle. And that Ten of Swords energy, it tells me that they were betrayed and had a very challenging ending of relationship. They were shattered into a million pieces. And then later on down the line, when they're feeling so numb, they need to protect themselves, they meet you. And they shut it down out of fear. So whoever I'm picking up on, they felt they were not enough because someone they were with a long time ago taught them that they could have anybody and that, you know, it's like your twin wasn't enough. But your twin is more than enough. But they have learnt this through an experience. They don't feel good about themselves because they think that when they get with you, because you're awesome, I mean, look at your energy. You're king of fire energy right there, okay? Even though you're an earth element, this is you embodying that flame, that spark, that passion, that joie de vivre, that excitement, that electricity. You're a leader. And a leader often, you know, requires someone who is in a power couple. And this person does not see themselves that way. Look at these two energies. Because this is 8, the number of the self. This is you. This is them. So they feel like they're not enough or they cannot bring something to the world. It's like you are their world, but they cannot offer you the world in order to make you stay. That's in their mindset because the Ten of Swords is a mindset as well. And it's something that broke them down and, you know, made them think differently about themselves and about love. So they feel like they have nothing to offer you because they think at a moment's notice you're just going to leave because whoever this person was with in the past did that to them, played them off other people, game playing. So they decided, actually, I'm not going to fall in love. I'm actually just going to be footloose and fancy free. They want to engage in flirtation and connect to relationships. They want all of that, but they can't get past the hurt in order to be emotionally available, okay? So we got the Lily, which is a very, you know, passionate, physical, sensual card there. It can indicate blossoming, but it's like, if you think about lilies, they tend to be the flowers of the dead. So it can indicate that this person was triggered into being flirtatious or being kind of like, not a player, but I feel here today, gone tomorrow, no attachments, because something really ended a part of them. They changed. And also, this card highlights There may be some sort of age gap as well there. It's not an issue. I want you to be aware of it. But more than anything, I feel that this person has had an experience that broke them, no matter their age. But also, I feel that this is going to be a long process. This person is still up in their physicality energy. The man indicates action, taking action, influencing the situation. So I would say, that there is some sort of message coming. This person's got the reunion card with the garden energy. So they're going to invite you to something. They are going to reach out and take action. I mean, I'm not sure if you're going to be happy with it. I hate to give you this message, but it's going to be very flirty. Okay. Ace of Wands is an energy of transformation, of newness as well. So it can indicate that you are thinking about entering into a new chapter of your life and seeking love elsewhere. But because we have that Knight of Wands there, I mean, I feel some of you will open yourselves up to a flirtation, but more than anything, I feel this card highlights that your person's still going to pursue you. You haven't heard the last of your twin. And yes, they're still, not looking deep enough yet to heal something. They're in the process of doing it. It feels like it's time. It's ready. They're going through an awakening, but they're still wanting to hold on to you in some way with the intensity that you bring. It's like they need you. You are like an obsession to them, but you're more than that. And you want more substance. So that Knight of Wands, I would say that you will repeat a cycle with this person. Got to be honest with you there. We do have that Five of Pentacles. The abandonment issue is still there. Can this person heal? Absolutely. They can transform. They can, enter into a new chapter as well. But a new chapter requires a new version of yourself. And this person is in the process of looking at themselves, their wounds, their hurts, in order to transform. But looking at your energy, you're like, I've waited a long time. And you want to get busy living. So I feel, yes, there is a bond. You may be tempted by this bond to connect to this person. But I feel with the Five of Pentacles, you may even ignore this person's flirtatious message until they get the message that they got to come to you right, that you're different. They cannot just accept to come in and get the physical goodies. You want substance, you want loyalty. You are transforming this relationship and their vibration with your actions. You're hitting different because you're different, my beautiful Capricorn. So I feel, yes, it's nice to have fun, but you want someone you can grow with. And this relationship has really hurt. And I feel like this person, the cage is open, but they're still in the cage. So there is an opportunity for them to step out of the cage, but they are going through an awakening. And I feel like you hold up that mirror to them to highlight that they are free to make a decision, free to make a choice, free to get out of their own way and choose happiness over fear, choose love over sadness. That's their prerogative. But sometimes we get attached or bonded to a personal narrative from the past. And whilst we should not let it define us, it does shape who we are. It's important. So this person needs to revisit the past in order to overcome it, to set themselves free from it. And I feel like they're in the midst of that, but they're not ready there. They're not ready to offer you the sustainable love, the healthy love that you truly deserve and desire and are seeking right now, my beautiful Capricorn. So I wish I could tie it up in a little bow and say, yep, you two, you're going to be together next Wednesday. It's going to be amazing. And you're going to have a happy ever after. But life is complex. People are complex. And what I see right now is a process where this person will find their way back to you. But whether you're there or not, that's your prerogative. Right now, I don't see you being there because you're done. But looking at the energy, I feel like there is an abandonment issue at the very core of this person. Someone has destroyed this person's energy to a certain degree, and they need to reclaim their power. That's basically, they need to learn to fall in love with themselves again. And we have, trust me, I want to follow my heart. I feel like they really do. I feel like they really want to get out of their own way, but they can't. They're limited in fear. Eight of Swords means a self-imposed restriction, an isolation, an imprisonment. For some of you, not all of you, of course, This could be an actual physical imprisonment. Some of you may be dealing with a twin who is incarcerated. Not all of you are going to be dealing with that. And of course, it is a long process. And whilst there's loyalty here to this person, I feel like you're thinking about your future and wondering, like, do you put your life on hold until this person is released? And, you know, you don't want to abandon this person, but at the same time, I feel like you'll have a very honest, open conversation about each other, you know, what the future holds, and, you know, you're going to work things out in that way. But of course, not all of you are dealing with that. But I do feel whoever you're dealing with, I feel like there's love. They want to follow their heart, but there's something here that has changed within them. And I feel like this emotional vulnerability is hidden through layers and layers and layers of physicality, sensuality, flirtation. Okay. So it says here, I'm thinking about making you an offer. Okay. And I do see that this person is going to try and reunite with you. They're definitely going to invite you to something, or, I mean, I feel initially it's a very flirtatious message, but the way you adapt your response to this person, it will help them learn how they can, you know, respect your boundaries or not. Because anything that you do not change, you accept. And if you're not happy with the way it is right now, you are changing something. I see you being the catalyst for change there. You're completely revamping this relationship. And this person will kind of start to look at something that could have been blossoming and could have gone somewhere, but it's dying at the very core of it, because this person is not facing a fear or, you know, needing to acknowledge that they are enough, that love does stick around, that you're not going anywhere, that you had no intention of betraying them, you were loyal, and they need to, you know, remove the fear. False evidence appearing real. You know, the whispers in the mind. I feel they need to acknowledge that. And it says here, I have a plan, but you have to trust me. I would say trust is earned. And this person, when a person shuts down out of fear, they feel it is sanctuary. They feel that they are protecting themselves. But to the other person who's on the other end of their partner shutting down or removing themselves or going quiet, it feels like abandonment. It feels like a detachment. It feels like an emptiness, a loneliness, a disconnect. So both parties need to understand what it feels like from the other side. And only a conversation, a head-to-head, can help both parties understand a little bit more. And I feel like you will have that opportunity in the future. But right now, I feel there's a lot of hormones flying about and lots of chemistry flying about. Let's put it that way. And it's really intense and very kind of tempting and satisfying to just live in the moment and just connect in that electricity for a moment. But then when that is not sustainable, because a Knight of Wands energy is not sustainable, it means suddenly you're back into a cycle of repeat. Suddenly you're back into the same feelings, and suddenly it's chipping away at everything that this could be and leaving something that is festering and not healthy. So I'll leave it there. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Okay, so we have, okay. So of course we've got the Mars action going on here. This is an energy of transforming things. We've got the feminine energy as well there. I mean, I'm getting both energies from this. So this can indicate there needs to be a balancing of being open to love as well as acknowledging that there's a lot of physical chemistry and attraction, acknowledging that feelings are safe. I mean, I just keep getting the pursuit of happiness. I mean, for some of you, not all of you, but this person may have like an addiction to chemistry. Not with lots of people. I don't see that, because 8 is the number of the self. This person's on their own right now, contemplating a lot of things, trying to make sense. But I feel like they're just like wanting to consume you. It's like they're magnetized towards you, and they're not seeing the deeper aspect to the relationship and what they may be avoiding within themselves just by having the physical side of the relationship. They're confusing intimacy as something physical when it's not, okay? And also we've got a bicycle, 2 cycles in play right now. And, you know, I feel this is a bicycle, so that's like one person can ride this particular one. So it's like, who's in control of this situation? Are you both coming home to controlling some fears? I feel this could also be moving on from the connection, but I feel this is about a cycle replay that's been going on that stops now because you are the catalyst for change. You'll see everything change because you changed, my beautiful Capricorn. And I feel like you're making a difference, but at the same time, you know, it's going to be a long process. And you got to ask yourself, are you there for the process, or are you stepping out and, you know, seeking a new chapter? Your prerogative. I can't tell you that one. I can only give you what the energy kind of highlights for this moment in time. And this is for the next 6 weeks. I want you to be aware of that. So, yeah. I'll leave it there, my beautiful Capricorn. I hope something resonates. I mean, I wish it didn't resonate. I wish you were like with your twin and everything was fine and there was no core obstacle going on that's preventing you from both being together, but you know what I mean. I hope you got some value from this reading. So thank you so much, my beautiful Capricorn, and love and light.